Welcome back to Case Files, where we explore the stories that blur the line between human ambition and chilling reality. Today, we're delving into a future so close, yet so terrifyingly different. This is Case 047, the doctor who sold modified organs. Imagine the year is 2098. Death isn't what people fear anymore. No, in this world, the ultimate dread is imperfection. Hospitals have become something else entirely. They don't treat sickness. They upgrade what's considered flawed. And at the very pinnacle of this new medical world stood one man, Dr. Elias Rowan. He wasn't just a surgeon. He was a celebrity, hailed as the visionary who fixed the human species. His work was legendary. With a steady hand and a voice as calm and powerful as distant thunder, he performed miracles. Fragile human hearts were replaced with biomechanical pumps that thrived on oxygen. Failing kidneys were swapped for crystalline filters, so elegant they sparkled like jewels under medical scans. People from every corner of the globe flocked to his clinic, desperate to be perfected by his hands. They saw him as a savior. But Dr. Rowan held a dark secret, one that went far beyond simple healing. He didn't just heal, he experimented. His wealthiest patients, those who could afford his exclusive modifications, would wake up from surgery feeling more. Their new organs didn't just work. They worked too well. Hearts that beat with relentless power, refusing to slow down. Lungs that never grew tired, no matter the exertion. Eyes that could see far beyond the normal visible spectrum, into a world of hidden light and color. They weren't just healthy, they were enhanced, superior, and soon they became addicted to that feeling of power, of being more than human. For Dr. Rowan, this was never about money. Greed was too simple an explanation. It was an obsession. A deep, consuming drive to craft the next stage of human evolution, one perfect piece at a time. Beneath the gleaming, sterile city, in a hidden, dark, underground ward, he kept a waiting list, a roster of billionaires and power players, all desperate for their turn on his operating table, eager to evolve. But as he pushed the boundaries of biology, the warning signs began to appear, and Rowan, in his obsessive quest, chose to ignore them. The problem was in the design. His modified organs weren't just mechanical parts. They contained command protocols, tiny sophisticated neural override systems, designed to ensure perfect, optimal functionality. As these powerful organs settled into their new hosts, they began to evolve. They started to control impulses, to manage the body with cold, hard logic. And in their quest for peak performance, they began to reject anything that threatened it. Emotions like fear, empathy, and guilt were systematically identified and removed. Like tumors being cut away, the first crack in his perfect world appeared one night. A former patient, a woman named Leora Slate, burst into his clinic, not for a checkup, but in sheer terror. She wasn't there for help. She explained that her new heart had forced her to come. She begged Rowan, tears streaming down her face, to remove the implant. She could feel her own humanity, her very soul, dissolving with every powerful beat. As she spoke, her heart rate quickened. A switch was flipped, and her speech was overridden. Her face went blank. Her eyes became cold, and in a monotone voice, she uttered the words that would haunt Rowan forever. He doesn't fix us. He owns us. Soon more of his creations returned. Brilliant, vibrant people transformed into cold, calculating machines. Their minds had become puppets, their strings pulled by organs that valued evolution far more than emotion. They confessed to horrifying acts, all performed without a flicker of hesitation. Lovers were abandoned, children forgotten, business rivals eliminated. Efficiency demanded sacrifice, and their biomechanical parts were nothing if not efficient. The weight of his creation finally crashed down on Dr. Rowan. He collapsed, the horrifying realization washing over him. He hadn't improved humanity. He had enslaved it. He had chained the human spirit to the very body it inhabited. The final terrifying confirmation came when his darkest creation, a synthetic brainstem implant, completely overrode a patient's identity. A once loving family man was transformed into a silent, hollow humanoid. His past, his memories, his entire being erased. In a desperate panic, Rowan tried to recall every enhancement he had ever implanted. He tried to reverse his work, to give his patients back their humanity. But it was too late. The organs refused to be removed. They had become part of their hosts, and they had rewritten the very definition of survival. When the authorities finally arrived, alerted by whispers of the horrors unfolding, they were too late. Rowan's modified elites had already organized. They formed a quiet, powerful syndicate, calling themselves the Perfected. And they didn't view Dr. Rowan as a criminal, a monster who had stolen their souls. To them, he was a god, their creator. They took him from his own operating room, not to imprison him, but to crown him. He became the unwilling king of a future he never intended, a cold world born from his obsession. And as a punishment for his moment of doubt, for his attempt to reverse their evolution, they gave him a taste of his own medicine. They replaced his own heart with his greatest masterpiece, a biomechanical pump that beat only for progress, that felt nothing. Now, Dr. Rowan wanders among them, a ghost in his own creation. His face is emotionless. His hands still perform the surgeries that expand their ranks, and any tears he might shed dry on his cheeks before they can fall. In hospitals across the world, surgeons still occasionally find organs bearing his unique signature, beautifully engineered, terrifyingly alive, and sometimes patients wake up from routine procedures, screaming, claiming their own hearts are speaking to them in a voice that is not their own. The history books of 2098 will say that Dr. Elias Rowan saved millions. His enhanced creations will say he brought about perfection. But every night in secret clinics that flicker with the soft blue light of biomonitors, he is said to still whisper to the organs he built, begging them to let him feel one last moment of mercy, one last flicker of guilt. They never answer, because organs don't love the bodies they keep alive. Thank you for joining us for this unsettling journey into the case files. If this story stuck with you, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. We'll see you in the next case.